Okay, finally. Jeez. I was struggling a lot to get the stream working, but I think it's working on all platforms now. Let me just check. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why this is so difficult nowadays. It used to be very straightforward. You press stream, it works. Now it doesn't work on Twitch, and then I get it working on Twitch, and it stopped working on YouTube. Yeah, it's quite annoying. Okay, but it seems like everything... It's probably something to do with the relay servers that we have to make use of in South Africa. Because we can't stream to an actual Twitch server. We need a relay server to actually get there. But then obviously there are a bunch of other problems because it's not a Twitch official server. But hey, I'm here, so let's see what's up. Okay, so I worked yesterday, so I didn't just take the day off, and I got a few things done. So let me just show it off. Okay, so basically, if you click on Vulkan, we can still see the resources, but now we have this show item storage button, right? Show and hide. And if you go and you click on production, for instance, let's say you show it. I also just put in some icons to make it look a little bit better. But if I make advanced processing modules as an example, obviously there are quite a few issues with the UI still, but you can see the advanced processing modules are appearing. And I can make a precision processing module, for instance. I can make a manufacturing module. I can make a advanced solar module, and you'll notice they'll start appearing. Okay. Then what I also did was I made it so that the size of the module is represented and actually shows its size, right? So essentially before, the modules were a set size. So if you click on a node, you had one module, it would be this little space here, and that's it. Now, what I did was I made it stretch based on its size. So size meaning a node has a certain amount of capacity for modules, and different modules have different sizes. So I think the capacity is like 8, and the size of a fusion module for power is exactly 8, so that's why it fills the whole thing. But if you go to extraction, you can see this one's quite a bit smaller because it's only a size of 2. Right. And then I should be able to... Oh, I don't have any. So yeah, so the list for adding new modules doesn't show because I don't have any extraction modules. But if I go to production, processing, I should see, yeah. So right here, I can add new modules. So I want to move this. I don't like the way it looks currently, but there we go. You can add more modules, and they're all the same size. Boom. Okay, so there's still a couple of kinks here and there. But I mean, I like where we are going. The ideas are there. The only thing now is to just polish the stuff a little bit, right? get all the functionality working. So today, what are we doing today? Let's have a look. Hopefully we're doing a lot, but okay, produce new module, add to Vulkan, make the node selection work right, have modules stored somewhere. Okay, I did all of this stuff, right? So I'm gonna move that to done. Okay, get shipbuilding working. I mean, yeah, that might be nice. Assets, nah, it's fine. Don't want to worry about that now. Icon selected to update when entries change. Okay, I think I want to try this first because it affects the way the current UI is working. Right, so you saw that when I was producing items, right, I can show this. So let's just do a bunch of surface extraction. Okay, so they're gonna start making. Now, if I click here, show item storage, this will actually update, right? And every time it updates, this list will change. Yeah, there we go. Surface extraction 1, perfect. Now, if I go to extraction, I can obviously click on this and I can see my surface extraction module showing in a list. Okay, you can't really see it because I'm in the way. Okay, but notice I'm already on 2 modules and this still hasn't updated. Right, that's kind of bad. I would like it to update. Right, so yeah, even if I click out of it and into it, it doesn't update. I think I need to go out of the module, back into the module, the node, and now I get an updated list. So I just needed to trigger an update when something is added as well. So that's what I'm thinking. Also, I want to change the way this UI is working right now because I think it's terrible. But okay, we can at least get started with that. Now, I don't think this is too difficult. Let's see. Okay, this would be in the node panel. Where did I actually do this? It should be in the node, right? So if I go to my view, yeah, I have this update module selector happening. So I could run that. But that might actually break my icon selector. Unless I have a way to update my icon selector live, right? So instead of just making a new one, I just update it somehow. Right, because if you look at this, so your list of items come in here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, set value items. Okay, so that's maybe one thing I don't want to do. Okay, but set value, that's basically the icon that's shown. So you set your value to the first thing in your list always. Not necessarily what I wanted to do. Okay, but let's see. Okay, so we show pop-up, and on show pop-up, obviously we go through... we create the new visual element, we add it to a class list, we set its position. Yeah, and then we go through our items list. Okay, so on showing pop-up, we actually generate all this. We add the pop-up, we register callback. Now, if we hide pop-up, we do a remove, unregister, set it to null. Okay. So this is done with the toggle pop-up and toggle pop-up. Toggle pop-up happens when we click the main button. Okay, so let's tweak it a little bit, right? Let's see if we can't make these things look a little bit better. Work a little bit better. So essentially what I'm thinking is I want to have a public void update. Essentially item list, right? It's a way to update the items in real time. Okay, now I'm thinking, should we have the constructor? Maybe not. Maybe we could just update the list of items. We could just take items and update it. So I'm thinking we could get away with just sending the list because the thing already exists. Right? So we could just do that. And then we can do underscore items equal items, right? So we do something like that. Okay, it does not like that because... okay, it's read only. Meaning it can only be set in the constructor. But I can change that. I just make it private because I want this new ability. So we change the item list. And let's see what else do we have to do. So all this should still be working. Okay, I'm not too concerned about that stuff. So, okay, so now we need to decide about the pop-up. Right, and I'm thinking we don't toggle pop-up, but we do something similar where we say if pop-up is not equal null, so it exists, we actually run pop-up again. No, actually, so what we'd have to do is we'd have to hide the pop-up. And then show the pop-up. Hiding the pop-ups, so this effectively removes the pop-up, unregisters the callback, sets it to null, and then I show it again. So basically, when I show the pop-up, I reconstruct it entirely. Righto. Hey, Damon. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing? Yeah, something like this, I guess, should be fine-ish. Sort of. Okay, now we just need to figure out a way to get the icon selector to register to this. Brody? How's it, man? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we obviously have the view here. No, we need the view. Right, okay, so the module selector exists. Okay, so this is a storage thing. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because it's inside the node. But my storage is inside structure. The node's also inside the structure, I guess, but yeah. Now I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. Okay, so let's just go check out node. Okay, the node knows about the structure. Okay, so then it's not that bad. So we can go to the view model and we should theoretically let me just make sure I'm not being stupid. So what I could do is I could do node dot structure dot storage. On item storage changed essentially. That's not right. It's a... Oh my word. Okay, so on item storage change, we can do something like that. Now, I should be able to check my structure code, because I've done something similar. Over here, on item storage change. So we go... we get our items. I'm just gonna... Really just gonna do this again. We can't get the structure directly. We have to do node.structure. Okay. So that at least gives us the list of modules. And now essentially what we need to do is we need to tell our view to update the module selector. I don't want to do it that way because that would reset it. So public void update modules. It might be unnecessary to do it this way, but anyway. Now I could do module selector dot update item list. Right, so, and we need a list of module definition is, oh yeah, that's right. Modules. Now we just pass it in here, right? Okay, so we go view dot update module selected data. Something like that. Hey, wait a minute. This needs a list. Okay, yeah, no, this is not. Okay, this is not what I wanted. Wait, don't I just need... I've done this before. I can't remember how I did this before. Yeah, so right here where I sent this. Oh, I just asked the view model for the available modules. Okay, that's actually then what I need to do. Yeah. So actually, this is what I'm supposed to do. Not this. Right. Update item list. Go to the view model and ask it for the available modules. We don't need to send anything. We just need to trigger that update. We could have done many things, but anyway. Could have, should have, would have, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Inconsistency is my middle name. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is gonna work. We need to check it out. Now, I don't know if you're actually gonna see this. You shouldn't be able to notice this at all. So we are creating a new pop-up, essentially. There is probably a better way of doing this, right? I could just go and add the new rows. But also that's going to be a little bit complicated because my list of items, obviously. Yeah, I'd have to check against the existing list of items if I could add new items, or I could just delete the old one and create a new list. It's not like I mean, I'm expecting like 10 things in this list, so just making a new one is pretty simple right now. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Okay, so we go to production, we create, let's say, a bunch of surface extraction modules. We click go, and then we go to extraction. Okay, we don't have anything available. Now we do. Okay, so actually that should also trigger it, right? But anyway, if we go to extraction, so we have something there now. Now let's see when the second item appears. Ah, look at that. Okay, so the list is growing now on its own. Yeah, okay, great stuff. Now it still looks terrible being down there. What I could do now, so let's clear that. Let's just check for, let's make a couple of refineries. Whoa. What is happening? That was weird. Oh, okay. It's trying to remove the pop-up again. This visual element is not my child. Ah, very interesting. How very interesting. So me fiddling with it. Oh, you know what? I did not close That's right. I didn't close the pop-up, right? Okay. So yeah, so that's actually another thing I should do. So when you go back on your panel view, so at some point, what do we call clear? Okay, let's see. Where's my back button here? Is it on my structure? Yeah, okay. So we click the button, and then what do we do? Okay, we just display style none. Okay, yeah, but even though it's not displayed, the node panel might still exist because it hasn't been cleared yet. It only gets cleared when we set the node panel view again. And we initialize it again. Ugh, yes, UI is such a pain. Okay, anyway. So let's think about this. So when we clear the node panel view, or, well, we need to be able to clear it in another way, I guess. Right. But I think actually one of my problems... Yeah, so I need to also unregister from that, right? Yeah, I'm still registered to this, so then it tries to do this thing, and then it starts breaking. Yeah, okay, so we need... what did I call this? I called it something... Oh, dispose. And I do it on the view model. Okay, and on the element, okay. So, okay, so... Well, we never actually dispose. Yeah, we don't dispose in the same way, right? No. And the dispose works because we actually delete the modules. Our node panel view remains. It just gets shifted around, so it's not getting deleted. Right? Yeah, and the view model... We should dispose of the view modules, shouldn't we? Ah, jeez, I don't know. Okay, so let's see. So right here, what do? Okay, I set panel view, node panel view, right? So this is when I click on a node in on one of my buttons. Right, yes. Yeah, so I click on one of the nodes and then I set the panel view to that node. Okay, fantastic. So on the panel view, I clear it. I create a new view model. And then I initialize the new one. However, if I don't dispose of the old view model, it's still registered, so it's still getting this, but it's no longer connected to a view, which is bad. Yeah, so I need to have public void dispose here. And what I should do at least is make sure I disconnect. Oops. Why I deregister from events, right? That's very important at a minimum. And I should dispose of this thing whenever I create a new view model. Essentially, node panel view.clear. If I'm clearing this thing, I should also make sure yeah, so here module view models not equal to null. Okay, so that's all my VOD. Okay. So I dispose of all the modules. But I should also dispose if view model is not equal null. And then we do a dispose there as well. So that's whenever clear happens. Okay, there's probably still some issues there. Let's just test it out. So I think I know how I made that happen. Okay, so we start off with a production module and we go and we make like 10. Right, so they are producing. Then we go back. Okay. And then we already have a problem. Okay, very nice. Okay, so what is it doing this time? Okay, so the view model is is null, right? Because I haven't opened anything. So if view model equals null, just return here. Yeah, okay, so we can't update this thing. Okay, how many times on storage change? It should just call it once. And what I can do is debug.log module select or data. Okay, just something like that. Okay, so that was very straightforward. Well, It was straightforward to reproduce the error. Let's hope that fix is actually gonna work now. Okay, so we go to production, we make 10 of these. Okay, let's go back. So now we are not looking at a specific node. So I'm expecting problems. Okay. And let's stop it. So, okay, so it is definitely calling this thing. I'm guessing the view model is not null. Right, that has to be the case, but... Also, why is it calling it that many times? This should just be done once, right? I mean... Yeah, okay, so if I just go back, it doesn't dispose. That's probably one of the problems there, hey? Okay, so I need to connect that back button to the dispose as well. Okay, that's gonna go... Okay, so on... Stop, collaborate, and listen. Okay, where the hell's this stupid button? Back button clicked. Okay, can I access my node from here? Probably not really, no. Right. Yeah, my panel view doesn't have a reference. My structure might. So you know what? Since the node view is persistent, that means, yeah, so the node view model and panel is kind of persistent. What I could do is I could just make it go to the manager. Okay, any of these panels which I don't create and delete, you just come here. Public void. Show set structure panel view. Okay, I'm just gonna go clear node. Clear node here, and essentially what we want to do is node panel. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it is. This is what I want to do. Node panel view dot clear, right? And if I remember this clearly or precisely or whatever, it's going to get rid of the view modules for the modules, the holder, the selector, and it also disposes of the view model. Okay. And then right here, we need to add UI manager dot instance, right, dot clear node. Okay. Let's hope for the best. Okay. You can go away. I should actually have hot reload running, I guess. For what it's worth. Okay, so we go to production, we tell it, make me 10 surface extraction modules. We can look at it, we can go back. I can hot your reload. I'm flattered. Okay, it worked and it didn't explode. Fantastic. Okay, we can go to extraction. We can look at this list. Let's see this list grow. Okay. List is growing. Now, if I click back, it should have cleared that. So no more events being triggered, and it's fine. Ah, fantastic. And now even if I go back to extraction, it shows the list, and it will continue to show the list. I can go back and go to processing. And nothing breaks. I can even go to production, clear this, make a couple of refineries now. Okay, go back, processing. Okay, this is not gonna appear, so that's one bad thing. So I need to fix that as well. So yeah, one refinery is available now, but it doesn't give me the list. If I go back to processing, now I can. Yeah. Okay, so that's another problem. That should be easy. Ooh-wee. Ah. Okay, let's go fix that. But should be straightforward, right? Okay, so let's see in our view model. So we have on item storage change. When's playtest? Ah, my word. When I can finish the damn UI. UI is way too much work, if I'm completely honest. It's an annoying amount of work. Okay, so here we do update item list, right? Okay, let's see, when do we actually show? Okay, so module selector. I guess we did update module selector once. Okay, so what I should check... Go check the icon selector quickly. Is there a way of knowing? I guess I could check for the pop-up, right? So public bool pop-up showing. I don't know. Okay, pop-up not equal to null. Pop-up equal null. No, not equal null. Sorry, I know that's the right one. Damon, is that really what you did? Or are you now saying that's what I'm gonna do? Because it feels like that very closely describes my current situation. I made me and my wife started a little simulation game. Very small. You're just building. You've also done this. I think this was around December. So I started this little crafting game. You run a little wood workshop, right? You build chairs and stuff. Very straightforward. And then the UI started. And I realized I'm building a whole website for this little guy's business, right? Because he needs to have a website because that's, well, it's not his website, whatever. But he needs to. I thought the orders would come in through email, and I'm like, okay, I need to build an email thing. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's just build Gmail, right? And then I thought, okay, wait, but how am I going to manage his finances, right? Because the idea is you quit your job and you started your little workshop, and now you need to make enough money to pay the bills, right? But I'm like, okay, but how do I know what my bills are and how much money I have, etc.? So it's like, it'd be cool if, you're already on your laptop for the email. What if you had like a banking app? And then by the time then I realized what I was busy doing. I was busy building a whole flippin'. Oh, and you know what I also did? So now I have an email app, I have a banking app, and then I said, okay, so how is research going to work? Or what does progression look like? So I decided what would be cool is if you can, in your spare time, so if you're not building anything, right, your little guy can go sit at the computer and watch a video, like on YouTube, to learn a new technique or a new recipe or whatever, right? And then I realized, but that sounds fun, but now, okay, I have to build YouTube as well. I wouldn't actually have shown the video or anything, but I wanted you to have like an interface where you can be like, oh, this is interesting. Let's learn about dovetails, whatever. And then I bailed because it felt like I was building a massive amount of UI. But honestly, it feels like I'm building more UI currently. And most of the back-end simulation stuff is done, right? I've built that already. It works. Well, I think it works. It's a little difficult to test without all the UI in place, but it's there. I'm just interfacing with the damn stuff. Yes. Okay, let's see. Icon selector. Okay, so when we update module select data, this happens over here. On item storage change, so we can do update module select data. Or okay, so we can do two things. So if module selector dot pop-up showing, so if the pop-up is showing, Right, I guess we could do this. If the pop-up is showing, we just want to update the data. Right? Otherwise, if the pop-up is not showing, we actually just want to update module selector, which essentially will, you know, create the whole thing, essentially, and make sure it shows. I think that should be all I need to do. So let's see in what fantastical ways this breaks. Okay, so production, we need you to produce. Let's produce a few refineries, I guess. Boom, we can show the storage, bam, and then we can go to processing. Okay, so let's wait. When the first refinery appears, I should see my button. Hey, look at that, my button appeared. And now I can click on the button, I can see my refinery. And when it goes again, I should see a second refinery appear. Boom. Okay, perfect. And I can go to production, I can clear this. I can add a extraction module or two. We can go back, and then we can go to extraction. Be like, oh damn, the button exists, but I can't see it. Okay. But let's say the button doesn't exist, and now it does because it finished production, and I clicked on back instead. Okay. I need to fix that as well. I don't know. Don't like where that list appears currently. Okay, but that was fairly straightforward. So, the next bit would be... Let's just fix... Oh, wait. What am I doing? Let's just fix where this thing appears, right? I'm guessing UI Builder is my problem. Okay, so the node panel itself, okay, yeah, so it has a fixed size. I think I gave it a size, yeah. Yeah. Okay, then there's the production behavior element. What did I do? Okay, let's just forget about that part. Anyway, so yeah, so the module selector sits down here. I kind of want the module holder to grow. I guess I know what that means. Kind of means I need to set this to auto, right? And then it will grow. But then the modules, I should give them a size. Okay. Let's just try that, right? So that should be straightforward, I think. Look at me thinking things are straightforward. So I think, is it in module elements? No, it's probably module view model. So yeah, element set size. Okay, so this is where I set the size. And I give it the size definition. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Okay, I make it a percentage. Right, but what if I do not that? What if I just make it a size? I think 5. It should be nicely divisible. Let's see, 530. Add 20. Okay, let's try 520 and see. So now it should take this size, which is a number between 0 and 8, and make it a... Okay. It should work. And then I can make the other thing grow, and it will actually get large. Okay, let's see. See if that happens. Okay, production. Give me a few of those. Boom, go back. We can test everything. So extraction, roughly still the same size. Okay, so now I can add a module. Boop. Okay, so that works. The buttons are horribly ugly, but it is working. Let's go Windows Debugger. Pick element. Okay, so let's see. So the panel holder is still a complete 580. Okay, the node panel itself is 308. Why is it such an awkward size? Okay, module holder. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm just noticing something now. I've created multiple of these. Okay, it's a good thing I stuck around. Right, so okay. So now I'm creating multiple of these lists. Okay. I think I know why. Okay, yeah, so right here, I check if the pop-up is showing. Okay, if the pop-up is showing, we just item list update. But here, normally, this is a weird one, right? Yeah, because I'm calling this over and over now. So it keeps adding more things. I should delete it first if I want to create more and more things. Or I should check if there is something inside the module selector holder. I should be able to do that, right? Yeah. Let's consult how to check if there is a visual element in a parent visual element. You know, my favorite thing about AI is the fact that I can ask it just stupidly worded questions, right? Like, most people would hear that and be like, well, what do you mean? Or if you people might understand. But if I took that sentence and I Googled it back in the day, there's no way I would get any kind of any kind of result, right? It's too vague, it's too dumb a sentence. Okay, so we can just check if the child exists. Okay, that's fine then. So that might be better. The child should exist, to be honest, because we initialized it, so it is existing. The only problem with the child is it doesn't show an icon, actually. You know what? Maybe my problem is completely different from what I'm making it out to be. So actually what I should do here, for instance, so let's see. So yeah, right here, the main button, I give it an icon. Right, and that's cool because it shows you what you selected. I think I'm gonna edit this a little bit. Let's imagine this is a visual element. Wait. So currently it's just an icon, and it starts out, if I have an empty list, it starts out as empty. And then it appears. Right, because you always have you set the value to the first thing selected, right? What if I just do... I could do else here, right? So if pop-up is not equal to null, so it's showing, I hide the pop-up and then I show the pop-up again, right? But if the pop-up is null, that means I'm not showing the pop-up currently. Actually, all I then need to do is this, right? I actually just need to check, okay, if I then have items, just set the value. Yeah, that's way better. And then what that should mean is something. We never do this. You can just always do this part, right? Yeah. So we just update the item list and it'll set the icon if there wasn't an icon. Yeah. Or it will update the whole the currently displayed list, right? I believe that's exactly what it's gonna do. Okay, I'm not sure what that was. Okay, but so we could go to production. Doop. Start producing. We go to extraction module. According to me, there's no button. Let's see if it appears. Oh, that's interesting. That's not at all what I wanted it to do. Not even a little bit. Okay. Whoopsie doopsie. Let's try that again. Okay, so we set value. And I'm assuming when that happens, yeah, it gets invoked. That's interesting because it should do that. That's very interesting. Huh. Okay, well, let's just do this then instead. We just change the icon. We don't actually set the value. I believe this is the one. Okay, production, make me a few. Okay, so the buttons should just appear. Nothing else funny happens. Okay. And we can check. We shouldn't get more buttons appearing. You know, we still only have the one button, and I can click on it. And we can look at it for a bit and see if it expands. Oh, very good. Now if I click on it, it adds something, it adds something, it adds something. Now I have nothing in storage. And then it breaks. Okay, perfect. Now, I know why this happens. So what happens there... So what happened there was the... Yeah, okay, I see what happened there. So what happened there was when I added the last module, right? You can see... Okay, so on selected change happens, so this happens, right? Module selector gets set to null. And then it needs to update. And then it checks if there is space. And if there isn't space, it doesn't do anything. So technically what I should do here is say if module selector equals null, return. Right, because that is something that can happen. Okay. I'm also wondering if I can't just stop triggering this. Yeah, I should be able to stop triggering that, right? Because if you think about it, I don't want the node to trigger that anymore if it's full. Yeah, because here I go, if viewModel does not have space, return. Actually, what I want to do here as well as return, I want to return, but I want to do something else as well. I want to do module selector holder dot clear, right? I want to clear the module selector holder. So it should be clear. Yeah, no, it should be clear at this point. Yeah, no, so let's just return. Yeah, it should be clear already. Okay, so this should at least work with the module selector. Okay, and then here I want to do if has space. Okay, let's say if you don't have space, all right, then I kind of just want to deregister from this. I don't want this to run anymore. If you don't have space, just stop doing this. Deregister from this event. Because you're full, right? So it doesn't really make any sense that you keep running this. I can even do one of these and say, you know, if you have space, go ahead and register. If you don't have space, don't even bother. Right? Because what's the point of updating that menu if it's full? Right? Okay, so let's see. So play that again. But I think we're nearing what I would call a solution. Okay. So production, let's go and make a few of these again. A blammo. Let's see it work. Okay, so we can add it. It should still have space, right? Yes. Okay, so let's just wait for the other one to finish. Okay, so we add and we add. Okay, so now we'll have to see what happens on the next one being finished. Nothing, which is perfect. And I actually want to check something. Okay, so the selector holder is still quite big. Right there at the bottom, right? Doesn't have to be. You know what? That's a small tweak that we would make later on, right? Fixing that type of stuff. I don't think that's too important right now. Nah. That's now polishing the UI. I'm just getting it working properly. Right, but I can go back, I can go to production, I can make a few refineries, let's say. Go back, and then I can go to processing. No refineries here. At least, I think if I click, I can find the list. Yes, I can. And it does actually start populating, which is good. Refinery. You want to see if there's 3 of them here. Okay, let's just make more refineries. Why not? Yeah, there's one thing bugging me still a little bit. So if this list becomes sufficiently long with modules, when it's already quite full, Yeah, you can see what starts to happen here. Yeah, it's gonna overflow. So that's the icon selector pop-up, right? Icon selector pop-up. Okay, okay, make the position absolute. It is on that class list, interestingly. So I should be able to move it around with my pop-up here. Effectively, what I want to do, right, is just make it not run over too much. Or, you know, maybe grow it to the top, if that's possible. Because now, obviously, it adds more elements, which makes it go down. Or I need to give it a maximum size. And then make it scrollable. Maybe that's an option. Ah, you know what? That's maybe not that important for today. That's again one of those make the UI look nice things, which, you know, I think that's kind of a waste of time at this point. Okay. Because I don't know if I'm even gonna keep it that way, right? I might change it entirely, and then any optimizations I do to how it looks now, it's working, so it doesn't need to look perfect today. Okay, so we kind of... Our to-do list is getting a little short here. And some of these things I don't want to do right now. So I don't want to fix the ugly UI. I don't think I want to make shipbuilding work right now. That seems like a... Yeah, I don't even have recipes for ships and stuff like that. So that's a big job that I can try another day. And I'm not going to add assets. So let's think of other things that I should do. I don't want to think about recipes or add assets. And I don't want to fix the ugly UI because that's just pointless at this stage. So what we could do, maybe let's go to the data. The game data spreadsheet. Okay, so here I have all these nice things. Nodes, structures, resources. You know what's actually not maybe such a bad thing to do now? Okay, so modules. These are all the modules that exist, right? With their recipes, they are defined. And I can make them. And I can install them. So that's pretty great. And now I think the next step would be to make, or to be able to make new structures. Right, because currently we have Vulkan, it exists. And we can make modules in Vulkan, and that's kind of it. But we have structures as well. So Vulkan itself, that it just exists. But I have outposts, logistics hubs, shipyards, manufacturing complexes, and then some megastructure stuff. But I mean, I've kind of already defined the recipes for these. I know what they cost to make, etc., etc. So I'm thinking perhaps we should make the construction module work. The construction module, I don't think you can actually see any of that on the spreadsheet, right? Yeah, no. The construction module is the module that builds structures. And it currently doesn't do anything. It doesn't work yet, right? So we've made the production module work, processing module work. We don't have a construction module. So we need to get the construction module working. So right here, let's go construction module. We need to make it work. Make a UI. Okay, so the idea with the construction module is you would go to a sub-region, right? And then you can build, you should be able to build a construction module. Not a construct, an outpost, if you have the resources. And then you should be able to upgrade the outpost if you have the resources. So that's the two things you can do straight in the construction module. So building an outpost, that's a straightforward bit. It creates an outpost for the sub-region. Upgrading the outpost, that is adding nodes to the outpost. Right, so each outpost can have a few nodes. And that is something you need to do physically with Vulkan. Vulkan is the only ship that can do massive construction. Right, so you have to be there. You have to install the nodes. Then once you have nodes, you can install modules into the nodes. Now modules, I've made them be smaller. So what's nice about that, well, at least in my head canon, right, it's a smaller thing. So you install them into nodes and you can actually ship them around, right? So you don't have to be, Vulkan doesn't have to be on site to install a module. You can manufacture the module wherever you are and ship it to the outpost. Right. So that's basically what we need to do. So make it work means build outpost. That's the first thing. And the second thing is add nodes to outpost. Right. I'm not even sure if this works currently in the simulation side, to be honest. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna close all but pinned. Just get the stuff clean. Right, get out of here. And let's go to the simulation and see what I have. Okay, so I have an outpost. Right. It seems like I already create outposts at some point. Oh, this is my construction node. Okay, I don't remember doing that, but apparently I already made the construction node work. Somehow. In some way. So outposts and logistics hubs. It's amazing to me that I went and I did this for the simulation. It's like I didn't actually realize that I've done so much already. I think the only you know what, actually the only module I didn't implement was probably the research module, yeah. Because I don't have a research tree or anything, so I just left that one blank. Okay, so let's see, what does this thing actually do? I'm kind of surprised that it's here. Okay, so it tries to start build a structure and it gets a structure definition. Okay. So if you are already constructing, you just return false. Okay, that makes sense. So we can't build two structures at once. If structure current region is equal to null, we return false. So if we are not in a region, I guess. Okay, so we if we are trying to build an outpost. Okay, so we check first, are we inside of a region? So that basically means Vulcan is not just flying on the map somewhere and you clicked build outpost, right? That makes sense. Okay. Then we check, okay, if we are trying to build an outpost, does the current region have a logistics hub? Oh, yes. That's also true. So outposts cannot be serviced if you don't have a logistics hub in place already. So you kind of have to start with a logistics hub. Once the logistics hub is built, you can add outposts into the regions, sub-regions. Okay, we also check, are we in a sub-region? If we are, we can continue. If we're not, we return false. So there's a few failure criteria here. We need to be in a region, there needs to be a logistic hub, and we need to be in a sub-region. Those three things need to be true. We cannot be constructing already. Then, okay, we check structure. I'm a little confused what this is referencing, to be honest. Node.structure. Oh, this is a construction node. Oh my word, this is not a module. Oh shit, okay. No, we have some other problems now. Okay, I did not realize that. It's not a module. That kind of makes sense, actually. Yeah, construction is not, it's a node. It's not a module that can be moved about or added or anything like that. Okay. I completely forgot that I made it, but I remember now. I have different nodes. Construction node, logistics node also has stuff that it does. Other nodes like extraction node is pointless, right? It doesn't do anything. That's just a generic node, essentially. Okay. And since it extends node, and node has a reference to structure. Okay, but yeah, let's pin those two because I'm going to be needing them often. Okay, yes. Okay, so that's how we get the structure, right? We know about our structure because we are a node. And this is actually just Vulcan, right? Yeah, we get the node definition, we get the structure. Vulcan. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can reference Vulcan or structure. It doesn't really matter. Okay, now I'm in a better... Okay, so we go structure context. Try consume recipe. Yeah, I mean, that's probably fine if the structure context remains updated. Well, try consume recipe, it just needs a reference to the structure storage. Yeah, okay, so it does a few things. That's why I just reuse it. Okay, fine. So we try consume recipe with our definition resource and amounts. Then if that happens, we say is constructing true, structure in progress, construction timer, we set it to 0, return true. Okay, cool. Or if that doesn't happen, we return false. Okay, so we can start the structure. So I'm assuming we are ticking as well, right? The node has a tick with a structure context. Construction node, do you have a tick? Yes, okay, so we do override it, right? Okay, but it's never called, so we need to call this explicitly from Vulkan, I suppose, right? Let's open Vulkan and see. Yeah, okay, so we have Vulkan update that happens. Okay, Vulkan update happens, but I'm assuming the structure is actually what's gonna have to tick this, right? Yeah, essentially. So it'll go through all the nodes, collect the power intent, yeah, so this is now one of the problems, right? Structure context will tick. So the node ticks, right? But just because the node ticks doesn't mean the structure, the construction node is ticking. Yeah, I had the same thing with the modules, but I did that differently, right? Because I had behaviors as well. And your extraction, the module itself ticks, right? And it would have a behavior associated with it. And then when the module ticks, it just accesses the behavior and tells it to do stuff. And the behavior could be anything. Right, so that was the clever way of doing this better. Now, the node itself is ticking, and that's fine. But it's now it's not ticking the construction node, right? It's not getting referenced here. So we either need to go to Vulkan. And I even had this problem with Vulkan, actually, now that I think about it, because it's extend structure, but its update doesn't get called necessarily, right? So if we check here, yeah. I could update all updatables, but not Vulkan, because the structure is an updatable. But Vulkan... Actually, why can't I update? I can't remember. Yeah, we add Vulkan. Yeah, but I think if you don't have this here, it doesn't get called, right? Yeah. We need to call it explicitly. So what that could mean is we need to do a tick. Ew. That's kind of annoying, to be honest. No, I don't like that. Because that means it means a few things. First of all, this should work, right? I think. So when we tick all of this stuff, should work. Yeah, so this is exactly the problem. For each node in nodes, node.tick structure context. This is where all the other nodes would have ticked, because node.tick is happening. Now, if tick, yeah, the problem it's a new tick, right? And I have a feeling. Yeah, let's consult our friend here. Okay, I have a problem. So I have a construction node which inherits from node, right? Node is a class that has the function tick. And somewhere else I have an update function that just basically goes through a list of nodes and it ticks each node. Now my construction node, I have a new void tick function, but that now doesn't get called. But it needs to be called in the construction node itself and not in node. I need to call it explicitly, I think, but is there another way of getting this to work that I'm not aware of? And again, that's a little bit of a confusing way of describing the problem. Yeah, so the new hides the method. It does not override. Okay, maybe that's my problem. I'm using the wrong. Yeah, so I have node, public void tick, and then I have construction node, public new void tick. Okay. Node.tick. Okay. So I want virtual plus override. Oh. Oh shit, I didn't know I could do that. Okay, that would have helped me with Vulkan as well. I should have... Okay, so if I go to node now, and I have... Okay, wait. If I make this virtual, would it still work for all the other nodes? Okay, so if I make it virtual, the tick... I'm assuming it will still tick like normal. And then in special cases when a node is a construction node, it would do the construction node tick, right? Because not all my nodes are special like that. Yeah. So it doesn't force an override, it just allows an override. Okay. Okay, cool. So on my tick then, I want to do a virtual void. Look at me learning things about inheritance. And look at that, an extra reference occurred. And that's probably now. Now I can't say what that is, but does it break something now? Okay, I'll check now. So, and this is now override tick. Hey, look at that. It can also now get referenced. Okay, so build is now going to happen. This is the same tick as all the other ticks, I suppose. Okay, that's perfect then. Oh man, I should have done that with Vulkan too. So with Vulkan, what I could do then as well, because I have this extra stuff that Vulkan needs to do. But I have a Vulkan update that does it now. So guess I didn't know how this works. Okay, so but I could change Vulkan to work the same way. Okay, that helps a lot. So now this thing will tick and it will build. So build just checks if we are not constructing, just do nothing. Otherwise, we increment our construction timer. If structure in progress is not equal to null, we can check. Yeah, that's a kind of weird, but anyway. If the construction timer is greater than or equal to the build time, we finish. Otherwise... Oh, that's for a structure in progress and a node in progress. Oh, okay, because I have two things. Build time, finish node. Okay, fantastic. And then when we finish a structure, this nonsense happens. And when we finish a node, this nonsense happens. Okay, so finish structure. Okay, if it was an outpost, we simply on complete invoke new, so we create the new outpost with all the stuff it needs, and the same thing with the logistics hub. Okay, yeah, so it would exist, it's not. Okay, so on structure complete gets invoked. Okay, so nothing is listening to this event yet. Okay, but I guess I built it in there because that would be the idea. When structure completes, something needs to happen. Okay, yes, because something needs to happen on the presentation side, I guess. Or even in the simulation manager, perhaps. Well, so if you think about it, we have the solar system thing, and the solar system, it's got a bunch of regions, right? An ID with a region, and each region has to know if it has a logistics hub or not. Yeah, so we have an add logistics hub. Oh, hello. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, I forgot I did it this way. So the logistics hub adds itself to the region. Very interesting. Yeah, so it gets current region from where? From structure. That's a little bit weird. It is a structure, the logistics hub. So when we create the logistics hub, I guess we give it a region. So that region is already set. Okay. Yeah, so it knows exactly where it needs to go. Very interesting. Okay. So simply by creating the logistics hub, it should already be placed inside of the correct region. That is phenomenal. Now the only thing is, we still have this fire off, so that we can actually then go and we need to go and put it in our presentation somewhere. Okay, so that makes sense then. Very good, very good, very good. Okay, I'll come fiddle with this now. Just take a quick break. I'll be right back. Whoops, not that one. This one. Okay. Be right back. I have returned with coffee. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's continue, shall we? What the hell was I doing? Okay, yeah. So I guess. Where's yours, Brody? Sorry, man. Go check the kitchen, or the coffee shop down the road. If you live in a place where coffee shops are down the road, or work at a place where that's a thing, right? I have to get in a car, drive to some other place where there's a mall or something, and even then I might not even find a coffee shop. Only 2, Damon. You need to up your game, man. You need food more than coffee. Well, technically, yes, I guess, right? You can't live on coffee. Okay, so these 2 things need to be called from somewhere, I guess, right? So what we effectively need to do is, I guess we need to go to presentation, assets, scripts, and we need to create our node. I guess we could just stick it in Vulkan, right? Oh no, I need to put it in UI. Sorry, no, what am I doing? In UI, I have nodes. I already made a panel view and a panel view. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind, I didn't really do anything of the sort. I just created 2 files with nothing in it. Okay. So let's get going then, I guess. Oh, you found it in the kitchen. Oh, fantastic. Okay, you got it. I'm glad. It was quite the logistical nightmare to get it all the way to you. I'm surprised it went so smoothly. Okay, so this is the view. This is the view model. Okay, so this thing. Okay. This thing will have a construction node that it needs to reference, and then it will always also have a panel view. I'll just call this the view. I guess I could just call this the node, right? Yeah, why not? The node and the view, those are the 2 things we need here. Okay, so we need to do public construction panel view model. Blip, 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 blip. Okay, so how do we make this thing? Let's look at my nodes for inspiration, because I can't remember how I structure these things, and if I try to do it off the top of my head, I'm gonna cock it up. So let's check instead. Okay, yeah, so we need the node in the view. Okay, I kind of figured. And construction view. Yeah, those 2 I kind of could have guessed. So this dot node equals node, this dot view equals view. node ID. I don't know why that's a thing. Anyway. Okay, I have these as private read only. I guess I could do that. It's basically, I guess, yeah, so I can't actually change anything. I can assign the node, and then I can't change the node. And the panel, the view, I have public. Which I don't know why that's the case. It should, let's just make it private and we can always change it later. Right. Okay. So I'm somehow gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make a dispose function here. Void dispose, because you know how that goes. Probably gonna have to happen. Okay, and so my construction node has two actions that I guess I should subscribe to right here. So on node dot on structure complete, right, and node dot on node complete. So these two things should, when they happen, something should change. So the nodes will be made, and we effectively need to now change something in the presentation side, right? So this is our interface layer with our presentation. Ha. Can I access? I wonder what I should do from here. So I should either... Yeah, I'm gonna do something here, that's fine. But I'm not thinking about this. And surely I have a similar type of thing for my world. Just with structures. Or regions or something, right? So yes, I have a region view. And I have a sub-region view. Yeah. And they are connected to the sub-regions and the regions respectively, right? Yeah, they don't have view models. View models like the UI stuff do. Okay. Okay, so it might be good if... Yeah, actually, I don't know. We have the highlight. We have the Vulkan anchor position. Let me go check something out here quickly. So in the game... recompiling. Let me just drink my coffee. So in the game, if I go to, let's see, well, I think it's region view, right? And if I look at like the Earth region, show yourself. Okay, so this is the Earth region, right? I need to be on scene. What am I doing? Okay, so here we have the Earth region. So in the Earth region, we have 4 sub-regions, right? We have region 1, 2, 3, 4, right? They each called something. Okay, but at each sub-region has a, I guess, an industrial node, which I have to change the name of that thing. A circle, a highlight, and an anchor position. Okay, that's fine. So essentially, I think the outpost is going to be basically these little chips, right? I need to change that and call it an outpost, I guess. And then I need to make it so that I probably, in my region view, I should have a reference to that outpost, my sub-region at least. Right, and then we can check quickly what happens when an outpost gets constructed, right? So a new outpost gets made. It's set its subregion. Current subregion.add outpost. What? Okay, I did not know that's a thing. Oh, come on. Okay, we add outpost. This dot outpost equals outpost. Okay, fantastic. Okay, but the subregion then should be able to have... Yeah, this is just visually. I'm just getting my bearings right. So visually what this should do is I should maybe have an action here, an event, that says outpost added, right? Probably. And then when this outpost is added, my subregion view will then have a reference to the outpost visual, and it will just toggle it on, right? Yeah, the visual can exist always, but it might be just toggled off, right? And then once I get that event, it just goes boop. There we go. Finished construction. Well done. There's now a visual representation of the outpost. And I should do the same thing with the logistics. So the logistics is kind of a different type of structure. So I think I want to make it have it should be shown here inside of the region, but also on the solar system scale. Right, so if we look at the solar system itself, you look at the regions, right? You can't see the sub-regions inside, but you should be able to see, oh, look at this thing. The Earth has a logistics hub. It's parked there, right? So you can at least see visually from this view where your logistics hubs are. And if you click on the Earth itself, you obviously go into this view, and then you can see the logistics hub sitting here, having all kinds of things happening. Right, I think that's the idea. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, so for each sub-region, we essentially then want another does it have to be public? You know what? Let's just not make things public if they don't have to be. Serialized field, private, transform, and this would be the outpost view, right? Or just the out. Oh, whatever. It's the outpost. It's the outpost view. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. You know, it's actually the outpost visual. Yes, that's it. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so we have the outpost visual on the sub-region views. And then the region view itself. So we have the region zoom view, which, if I'm not mistaken, is this guy here. Yes. That's the region zoom view. Yeah, and actually the region zoom view, I also want you to have a similar thing to this. But we'll call it the logistics hub visual. Right, and then in my region view itself, you can also have a logistics hub visual. Right. I think so. Cool, okay, so let's let it recompile. I'm gonna need a visual for this. Yeah. We'll get back to the code in a minute, I guess. Okay, so now we can add our logistics hub visual there, and we can add our outpost visual there. Now, let's open up our subregion, and let's rename this thing to outpost. Right, because that's technically what it's going to become, and then we have the visual, obviously, there. Okay. So our outpost, all our subregions will now have a thing called outpost instead. Oh wait, and if I add it here, boom, like that, it should be added for all of them. And it is fantastic. Okay. Earth region. Okay, can we base region? Fantastic. So we can now add into a base region the logistics hub, and inside of the logistics hub we need to create something that's a visual. Cube. I don't think I have anything else really that could look like a logistics hub right now. I need to add the visuals at some point, but what does that thing look like? Okay, there we go. That's our logistics hub. Okay, so then the base region, you can get your logistics hub visual. Boom, like that. So all my regions should have something like that now floating about. And it does. Like, Earth clearly has a thing. Okay. And then I guess the next one would be on the solar system level. These regions, right? Okay, so let's see region views, Earth. Let's go in. Okay, so that's a planet. Wait, I'm confused. Now I'm confused. Wait, okay, so we have a planet. Okay, so we have Earth, right? Let's just go to Earth. So this is Earth. Earth is a planet. Planet. It says I have a visual for my logistics hub. Apparently, but I never added anything. Ah, okay. 3D object. I guess we can make it the same thing. Why not? Where are you? -90. Yeah, that's okay. So now if I go here, I should be able to see it, and I should be able to add it like that. So planet Earth. Oh, jeez. Okay, I see now part of my problem. So the logistics hub. Yeah, Earth is actually in the middle there, and then that's why the logistics hub's also now in the middle there. So we move it out. It's super tiny. Okay. That's quite small, but I mean... Oh, what? I have a sun orbit here? Oh, okay. I didn't even know about that one. But yeah, okay. So let's... You know what? This is not going to work for me. Let's open this logistics hub. Give it a scale of 5. Then hopefully that would mean all of them are bigger. Yeah, okay, so now there's a logistics hub there. Mercury, your hub can sit over there. Venus, your hub can sit right over there. Right. Mars, yours can sit snugly over there. That's what she said. I don't even know what you're talking about. I suppose I said something, but I kind of missed it. Okay, let's just imagine these logistics hubs sitting there. Obviously, these visuals are terrible, right? We'll have to fix them, so you can actually see them. But for now, you know, whatever. Ugh, why is there so many planets in the solar system? This is annoying. Saturn. Uranus. Well, there's a different way to say this now. I think I've heard some of the smart people say Uranus, which I think is dumb. I like Uranus. Logistics hub again. Yeah, I can sit over there. And then we have the Kuiper belt. So inner Kuiper belt can go there. Outer Kuiper belt can go there, I guess, for now. Solar system edge. Way the hell over there. Okay. Okay. I think. Okay, so we have all the visuals, right? Let's play and see what happens. What does this actually change? Let's play and see if anything still works. Okay, cool. So yeah, we can see all the logistics hubs at all the different planets. They're tiny, right? But they are there technically. And if we click there, we can see, there it is. It's parked right there. Fantastic. We might park it off screen a little bit. And not in the middle like that. What'll also be kind of cool is if I can have ships flying in, going out. But I'm thinking of just making them like visual, right? Not making... They won't be logical ships, right? If that makes sense. So they're not going to have any purpose other than just filling the screen. Okay, but now we need to make these things appear and disappear, etc. for all of this stuff to work proper. Hey, look at that. I'm mining resources. Can I go... Oh, you know what? I can actually now do this. I can add volatile extractions. Right. I should be able to go to Jupiter because I'm a cheater. And then I should be able to fly to Jupiter orbit. Very slowly, but I can. Park there. And if I go to extraction now, You can see my surface extraction is basically just spending fuel for nothing. So I can switch it off because surface extraction kind of implies that there's a surface to extract from, right? Which Jupiter doesn't really have. Volatile extraction, however, specializes in collecting volatiles. So that means at Jupiter, which is mostly volatiles, we can easily get volatiles. No problem. Yeah, look at that. Now we're mining like nobody's business. Okay. So yeah, volatiles are going up for the first time ever. Now we can go to production and make a couple of precision processing and advanced processing and even another refinery, I guess. Back we go to processing. We're like, I want to make industrial chemicals, please. As much as you can give me. Oh, precision processing is a little bigger. You see now, this is why I like the fact that I added the visuals or made the visuals larger. Because previously it would look the same size, but now I can visually see, oh wait a minute, I just used 2 slots. Right? So I like that addition. So what can we create here? Okay, that's super exotic stuff. We need advanced processing first. So I can make better fuel. I can make high performance composites. Right? Yeah, my fuel is going up. And my composites are going up, but I'm losing metals and ceramics. Or alloys and ceramics. What I could do is I could click here and make ceramics and metals instead, or alloys. And then, I'm not making enough. But you see, this is the point. So, oh, cheers, Brody. Yeah, if you're gonna be long, I might not be here because it's almost time for my day to start happening. Probably like 5 minutes, to be honest. So, cheers. Okay, so this is kind of the point. You'll notice that it feels like you are very limited. Like Vulcan is not capable of doing enough processing, right? To keep your materials or your resources nice and full. But that's exactly the point, right? You're not supposed to use Vulcan for processing primarily. Now, it can do processing, but that's not the point of Vulcan. The point of Vulcan is to do construction and production. That's the main purpose. All these outposts are supposed to do your mining, so your extraction work and your basic processing work. And then logistics need to get all the materials to you, right? That's the purpose of the bigger solar system. Specialized things Vulcan does. All the other nonsense we don't worry about. Okay. Okay, I like this. This is good. I'm positive. Now we're gonna go to that place over there. Let's look at extraction. So they all were paused. Or something, I don't know. Now if we get there. Okay, so now we're just losing volatiles, so it doesn't make any sense losing volatiles for nothing. But we can lose volatiles if we actually get other materials for it. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I mean, Vulcan can do stuff. It can bootstrap itself along the way, and also I want modules to be exchangeable, so you can remove and add modules as you want to. If you feel like you need a different module. And now the next thing is when you click on these subregions, the structure that's inside the subregion should appear here. Currently it just stays Vulcan, right? But it should become Jupiter Orbital Outpost number 7. Here are the resources available on that outpost, and here are the nodes, and then if the outpost has items in storage, you can see it. And the same thing with our... actually, where is our... I guess our logistics hub is inside of Jupiter. Yes, that's probably the case. Okay, but yeah. If you click on the logistics hub, you should see something similar. Although the logistics hub is not clickable here necessarily, because the outposts don't have storage themselves. The logistics hub acts as the storage for this whole region. So effectively all the outposts are sending their materials to the logistics hub. And so when you look at these, this is effectively showing you this region's storage, or the storage of the logistics hub, which I guess is fine, right? So that's the logistics hub, and this would be the specific node. Okay, anyway. Okay, so we did that thing. Let's go back to our code. Which honestly, I don't know if I have any time left today. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna call it there. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I would like to continue, but it's already 7 o'clock and my day starts in an hour. Still have a few things to go sort out. So yeah, 2.5 hour stream. I guess it's fine, right? Maybe tomorrow or over the weekend I can do longer streams, but during the week I kind of have to be careful of overdoing it. So I'm going to end it there, and I'm going to say thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me get you somebody to go raid, and then we can pick up from here. Now I might work during the day. So if I do that, then you guys will see tomorrow that I've added some new features, or maybe I've finished the construction and all that stuff. But you know, that's how it goes. Some work on stream, some work off stream. I guess we can go say hi to Meg. Let's go say hi to Meg.